Hello everybody, this is Joe being videos on the Gemmy Master animatronics, and this is a video of the Gemmy Halloween animated floating Donna the Dead black cloth version. You're probably thinking, wait, again? You just did this. Yeah, but I kind of, that was a pretty long video, and, I told my whole backstory about it in that video. I'm not going to talk about my backstory with this one in this video, just about the item itself, and, plus, I wanted to make a better video of it anyways, because I noticed that this hook was actually sideways, so these hands weren't even floating evenly. Not, you guys probably didn't notice, but I did. But there's just something about this one that's so different compared to what... This one is actually a factory defect, or a factory error. And I'll point that out right now. Look, it's supposed to be like this all the way along the cloth. Max and Donovan, I think, found one on like one of those apps where they sell it. And it looks... And it has it... Every single other person that has this, it has that stuff all the way along. This one never has. I never cut it. Never cut it. This is how it's always been. The box even shows it's supposed to be all the way along. I'm not sure. Like I said, this was a factory error. And the black cloth on the others even look a little different too. So I don't know what. I don't know. The strain in the head obviously still is long because, well, it hasn't yet snapped, so I'm not going to adjust it or anything until it snaps. So, the LEDs are blue on this, on the eyes. It takes 2 AAAs, and that's an option. Obviously, you don't have to put batteries in the eyes to make the whole thing function. That's an option if you want to use that or not. This was the first 2008 model that I've ever seen. Like I said, I told my backstory in the other video, so I don't want to get into detail about that, really. But, yeah, it just doesn't look very well in the dark. Like, especially if you don't have the eyes lighting up, because it just shows her head and nothing else. Like, they don't have LEDs for the hands, so nothing else shows up on it. But it has a very unique soundtrack. This soundtrack was not used in any other animated item from Gemmy, or any item at all, really. This is, the one Donna the Dead animatronic that actually has a one-of-a-kind sound, like, yeah. And also, in the other video, her hair was all tangled up, if you remember. Well, after I made that dropping skull video, I did the same thing. I took scissors and just cut through each section just to make it look nice, the way it should again. And it had like a weird hair. It had like 5 hairs just sticking up like this that weren't... There was never even hair connected to those, I don't think. It was just sticking up like... Looked so retarded, I cut that off. It was kind of like this, to be honest, but it was much worse. Much more noticeable. So it looks a lot nicer now. I like the way it looks now than what it did in that last video I made. Which is also why I wanted to make another video of it, because it looks a lot better in this video than it did in the other one. It's still got that crack in that. There's nothing I can do about that, but... yeah. And her hands are pretty heavy. And I mentioned that one hand has to have short string and the other has to have long. Otherwise, the hands won't go to the top of the pole. I mean, I guess that depends on how fast the motors are on yours, but mine has always, if I gave it long string, they just wouldn't go to the top. And you can also make it float with one hand up and one hand down too, like it did when I first got it, which I showed what that looked like in a video that I posted a couple weeks ago on my channel, if you want to check that out. But anyways, I think that's all I have to say about that, so here we go. Yeah, it looks down at you. That's why I gave it long string in the first place, because back then I used to like it when they looked down at you. Now here's an interesting fact that you... Oh god, her rubber belt is getting bad. Her head is slipping down. Here's a fun fact you might want to know though. Her head is not that heavy. For some reason, it still just cannot go to the top with long string. If this model existed in a 4 light pole version, I guarantee you could give it lawn strain and it would go to the top, because the 4-light pulls are much more powerful, and they move the motors. You know, the strain is being controlled directly from the gearbox, whereas remember, this one's controlled from a rail and everything, which makes it a lot slower. So yeah, I guarantee it would go to the top if it was operating on a 4-light. If this pull existed as a on a 4-light, but it doesn't. This one only existed at Michael's exclusively in 2008. See, her cloth goes all the way down to the floor. She didn't slip down that time. Okay, now with the lights off. And I believe this one, the sound sensor still doesn't work on. Yeah, a wire pulled off the sound sensor probably the last time I fixed the strain when it snapped. So right now it's only motion censored. See, it's working, this video is turning out a lot better than the way it was functioning in the other video. Oh, I actually noticed that both of the hands are gonna, the head and both hands are gonna end up snapping on this one at some point, because did you see that hand start moving up with the head too? I did. Just watch that again. It does it on the last time. Yep, see? Doesn't matter that the strain is still kind of long. As long as it does that, it's gonna snap. Oh, and then it's slipping down. Oh, that one, it slipped down a couple inches there. Yeah, I don't think I've ever replaced the belt on this. I'm just afraid to replace it because it might move a lot slower at that point. Maybe it'll move faster though. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just wait till it gets really bad to the point where it won't stay up like that skull at that time. So yeah, let me know how you liked this video. Did you like it better than the other one, or did you like the other better? Because that's all I have for you in this video. So I hope you like it. Thank you for watching, and bye.